Are you curious to see if we can pull off a soft daytime glam with a prosthetic edge? Hello beautiful people, I'm Lady M and welcome back to Mission Makeup. Let's get down and dirty with our makeup brushes, honey. The question we were posing today was, can we take sensible daytime separates, mix them with some fun, funky prosthetic action, and create a look that is not going to scare the children, you know? Listen, it's fine when we're creating looks for ourselves, just at home, in photo shooting, but sometimes other considerations have to be made, and you have to think, hey, as an artist, how do I meld myself to a scenario or a gig? It's really just all about keeping my artistic integrity intact while getting that paycheck, you know? So, as a daytime gig at a library with people of all ages, I didn't want to go too nighttime, too sexy. I wanted to still look glamorous and elegant, even doing sensible separates. My main job was playing a greeter for people coming in, so while I didn't have to think too much about movement, it's also important to remember sometimes you're going to have to use the restroom, so pants were definitely the option I was into today. And just styling for my own wardrobe, I really, other than doing the hair, I just didn't have on the time crunch a lot of time, because actually concurrently to this, I was planning the Halloween looks, so I really was just like, what can I do that utilizes best the things I already have in my wardrobe, and which is definitely a privilege of being a chameleonic queen, or drag chameleon as I like to say, that I do have a variety of individual pieces that can go in different directions style-wise. So that sort of stylistic eye is something I definitely think is one of my strong points. But I think the most important thing, and probably what you're clicked on this, is for this prosthetic. And that was another part of my consideration and my creative process for sure. So let me fill you in on how I came up with this. So in addition to the things I was thinking about aesthetically and vibe, if you will, I had this brilliant idea. What if I was a glamorous Catwoman? Like a childless Catwoman, but also like a Catwoman that, like the old woman who was so into cats that she became the cat. This all fit in really perfect with my sort of ethos of sort of knowing different types of performers, and when you're all in the same event together, just sort of wanting to stand out, sort of like respecting their drag, but also doing your own thing and standing out in that way. Now I was off and running. I knew where I was going with this look. I had a color palette. I knew I wanted to keep the eyes fairly soft, a little sparkle. I mean, I could have definitely gone in the direction of giving like full feline illusion, but like I said, I knew it might be a little too intense for the kids that would be there. I definitely didn't want to go in with like a lot of heavy black, that heavy contrast. While, I mean, it's gorgeous and I love it. For like club lighting or certain types of scenarios, I just thought, that might come across a little too like capital S fierce for the daytime. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Going back to the prosthetic, if you had seen my Halloween videos, you can always go back and reference them if you want. I did another cat look with a sort of prosthetic, slightly different in style, but also cat-like. And the great thing that I learned from that was that it gets really like hot in there. So I found this one, a little trick if you will, and the membrane of the nostrils is very thin. So because I was going to darken under there just a little bit so you couldn't see my actual real nose, I cut out that membrane so it allowed more visibility and airflow. Not perfect, but it really helped a lot, especially for spending like 8-10 hours in this prosthetic all day. So for that I would say win-win, and I learned a little fun trick for you guys. I was really happy in the end with everything. I think I found ways to use color and my art school background, the details of the nails that match the shoes. I think those are definitely ways that I try to show my unique lens on things, as well as being, like I said, the chameleon, but putting my own personal brand and stamp. And in general, I was just so happy, and I think everybody else was, that they sort of noticed how we all stood out and shone in our own individual styles. And I think we all really enjoyed that. Hello, beautiful people. Mother's feline. Feline. Gotta go to my event, kids. See you soon.
Approximately 10 hours later.
This event was perfect.